Hey everyone, it's Access Real. We're here down at Supanova in Perth, and we're having a chat to Brendan Wayne. Brendan, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man, it was my pleasure.
Yeah, how did Sydney go last week? Was that a good show?
Yeah, it was incredible. I've never been to Australia, so to be able to come out here was incredible. And the invites, always I love getting invited, so that's really fun. But the people, the town, I got to hang out with a friend of mine who's a comic from here. Joel Osborne, he's got a great story behind him. So we got to hang out in Sydney for a while. He took me on a little tour, learned a lot. It was incredible. I love it. And Perth's been off the charts. I mean, just so everybody knows, Mando's connection to Perth is that the reason why Mando is able to do what he does physically is because my trainer and really good friend, Justin Fortune, is a Perth native, and he trains Manny Pacquiao and those guys with Freddie Roach. So, yeah, that's how we got here.
We're very happy to have you. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
I'll apologise for asking with a really obvious question, but growing up with your grandfather, did you have a favourite John Wayne movie growing up? And what was your awareness like, just in terms of his influence on the industry and growing up? And
that last one's a good one. I'll start with the first. The first being favorite movies. First one I ever watched was The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. In that movie, you could play it every day and it still transcends whatever moment it is. Everybody in it is phenomenal. That's always in my top 3. The others, depending on my mood and the day, could be The Quiet Man, could be The Shootist. I mean, there's just too many. The Searchers.
Yeah.
Really, for me, The Shootist is pretty poignant, knowing where he was physically at that time. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
As far as understanding, I didn't really get who he was till
it'd be
after
hard
he
as a
passed.
kid to kind of have that.
And my family is great about keeping it separate. Like, he wanted to be normal, so he was normal. He was granddaddy.
Yeah.
And then John Wayne was somebody else. So for me, there's two very different people.
Yeah. So you appeared in a lot of different TV shows and stuff earlier in your career. So Angel, The Closer. Was there a particular role kind of early on that was really pivotal or memorable for you, just in terms of when you're getting going? Or
I mean, I think first of all, Angel was pretty awesome because I got to work with Whedon.
Yep.
And he's known for giving people chances. Like, too often now we just see people guest stars who are like my boss Jon Favreau. Like, why are you taking a guest star?
Yeah.
That should be another actor who's working his way up. That's the way it's always been. But Angel was pretty awesome with David Boreanaz. And then I would say doing Sons of Anarchy was something I had really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So finally getting that and doing that was really cool.
Yeah. So you came across John on Cowboys and Aliens, is that right? And so can you tell us a bit about getting into the Mando role?
I know that they had hired someone else.
Yeah.
And then they realized they wanted to get an actor in there, which is what I am. And John was trying to figure out a Western guy, and I think Jason Stamey, who's a casting director, suggested, hey, John's worked with Brendan. He worked on Cowboys and Aliens. John knows how Western he is. I was good enough on a horse then to do a double backflip 70 feet in the air on a pole off a live horse while we were running. So John had a memorable time with me. I'd also done Couples Retreat, and John was in that. So there was some familiarity, and then I think he just understood that, I grew up Western. I don't know many kids who didn't from my era, because we all wanted to be the sheriff or the cowboy and getting, cowboy fights and things like that. So we did quite a bit.
Is that suit comfortable, or is it?
I never had a problem in it really until the movie, and then we added some things which you'll see in the production of the movie that it went from about 40 pounds to 62, which was not a joy. I'm still trying to get my shoulder, but so is actually the guy who actually does stunts, Lateef Crowder.
Yeah.
He and I both have a shoulder issue from the new rig.
All right.
So the kid's causing problems.
So is there a lot of improv on set when you're in the suit, or are they really quite directive in terms of your mannerisms and where you're standing and.
I mean, I don't. For me, it's like he's me.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all improv on some level.
Yeah.
And then once we created the Bible, really, once I understood, like I wrote a Bible. I don't know that anyone else has, but like I literally have I don't know, it's probably 250 pages of how does Mando, what is he, where is his hand on this, in this kind of moment, what is he doing? And then like I understood it naturally, but I wanted to put it to paper in case something happens and then somebody's got to step in. They understand what the rules are.
Yeah. So what's the secrecy like on the show? Like, do you know what's going on in a broader sense, or is it they keep it really tight in terms of?
Oh, I've known from the beginning. I have every script. I know that people who come in, even if they're like regulars or in a few episodes, they won't even give them a whole episode script.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely not the movie.
Yeah.
So to have these moments, and then they're like, I don't know what's going, like what's going on here, and I'm working with like Emily Swallow who plays the armor.
Yeah.
I'm just like, here's the script, read it.
Yep. All right.
And they're like, wait, really? I'm like, yeah, like they're tricking themselves because they don't want any info to get out, but like as actors we need to know what the overarching story is.
Yeah.
And it really does like truly inform, especially
so that helps with your motivations.
And knowing the outcome of what is occurring matters to the intensity of what you're trying to do. So Emily as the armor, we in the beginning we're just playing it out. Like we're not sure where it's going to go. John and Dave don't know. So they're, and then we realize how important the armor is. And you're like, holy cow, this character's so powerful. So Emily's ability to know what's going on is important to me.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, I know in the Marvel universe, Tom Holland's famous for perhaps spoiling some things accidentally. Well, I don't see that. I haven't seen that happening with this. So I don't have any hesitation to be like.
So along those lines, I got to ask you, other than a shoulder injury, anything you can share about
the movie?
About the movie, where are things at? Where's it up to?
I mean, we're done. We'll have it out next May, obviously. And I will say this, like those things that we fell in love with as fans in season 1 about Mando. I think we were growing the stories throughout the Mandoverse, for lack of a better way to say it, or the galaxy. I think we've come back to a focal point and a stressor that involves the story that we love.
I think it's an exciting time, right?
Yeah.
Because there's been a good break since the last film. So you've had the TV stuff, and so the fever's been sitting there simmering away.
Yeah, and we've had a break since
from
Mando.
The show. Yeah, that's right. And so it's an exciting bit of Star Wars history that I think you guys are bringing back to the big screen. So
and I think they really do know, like, hey, we're gonna make them wait because it always seems better.
Yeah.
In anticipation.
Yeah.
I hate it as a fan. I hate it.
Yeah, for sure.
But
All right. Look, thanks so much for spending a bit of time with us today. I hope you enjoy the rest of the con.
Absolutely. Thank you, Australia and Supanova.